Yo, what's up, beautiful people? Y'all know what time it is. It is Wednesday. Another episode of the Mykell Mathieu Show is here for you. I know we all just tapped into the Western Conference Finals. We saw some good basketball from one team, but I have to talk about it. So I thank you guys for joining me for this episode, the Super Mykell episode. As you can see, hey, if y'all didn't know, that Super Mario was based off me, man. And I ain't gonna explain all of that, but yeah, Super Mykell episode. I thank y'all for joining me. You know what it is, the Mykell Mathieu Show. Thank you for joining me as I take my steps to secure my future star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and you are part of that journey. So we got to get to it. We got to talk about, man, tough loss for the Timberwolves. I expected better. I thought that they would come out and really give some fight, but they were like, hey, three, two, one, Cancun. They're clearly ready to go to Cancun. They're not thinking about nothing else other than Cancun. So it's just a crazy look, terrible performance. I can't believe that they didn't show up. 124-94. They were getting smacked up from the beginning. When you score 9 points in the first quarter, you know it's going to be a long night. And that's exactly what it was for the Timberwolves. I know a lot of their fans are going to be like, what's next? I don't know how you look at the season, what you take away from it. Are you just like, hey, we made another push to the conference finals, or is it like, damn, will we get over the hump? But some of it is, and it's 23. He's a young player. I know he's been given a lot of titles from people, but the guy is young. He's a young player. He has to learn a lot. He has to get better, and the team around him has to continue to get stronger. There is no panic on the Timberwolves. There is no panic for the young fella. Um, he's a baller, man, and I think that Ant is going to figure it out. I believe that the Timberwolves are going to figure it out with him, but it shouldn't be about them right now. It should be all about what the Oklahoma City Thunder has done and what they are doing. They look like a team of destiny. They are balling. They look great. And they're going to be tough. Like whoever that they are given in the NBA Finals, it is going to be barbecue chicken because they just look that good. The Oklahoma City Thunder are led by possibly, if you're looking at the game right now, I know Jokic is Jokic, but SGA looks like the best player in basketball because he does it on both ends. He comes out, he scores big tonight, 34 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Then he actually plays defense. Like SGA is the best basketball player right now. That's why he is the MVP. That's why he's the Western Conference Finals MVP. That's why his team are going to the finals and look like they're going to be the favorites. But just a poor showing from the Timberwolves. Julius Randle showed up. He scored 5 in the game prior, 24 tonight, but they just came out with no energy. It was kind of like when a kid, I hate to talk about this, but when a kid is getting bullied and he know the bully is coming and he just like, hey, pocket's already empty, stuff in his hands, he's just giving it to him. That's what we just saw with the Timberwolves and Thunder there in game 5. Gentlemen sweep. I messed up. I had this series going 7. I picked Oklahoma City. I felt that they were a team of destiny. They're a team that has pieces healthy. Chet is looking great. Jalen Williams is looking like that co-star that they need. Um, Dort is a great defender. He's knocking down shots. They just have a bunch of really good players, and they are a deep roster. And I love them because they're not going out there looking to put up too many threes. At one point, they were up 30 and they only made 6 3-point shots. A team like that understands getting to the rim, but also utilizing the mid range game is key. And they did their part. They took care of business and they got this big time win 124-94. They are going to be heading to the NBA Finals as the clear cut favorite to win the championship. And we're almost there. I said it earlier in a couple episodes of the Mykell Mathieu Show that the NBA Finals from hell was Oklahoma City in the Pacers. And it's not because of the talent on the court. Of course, I love basketball. I kind of got thoughts of a basketball purist, but I'm just saying that as far as the markets, like it's Indiana, it's Oklahoma, it's not what you want to see. New York would have been heaven. Ant versus the Knicks would have been a great series to talk about the possible next MJ versus the Knicks, but it didn't happen. And the Oklahoma City Thunder took care of business, picking up this big time win. And you got to look out for them. And the Thunder are tough. They are dangerous. They are clearly the team to beat. And I am excited to see what is going to happen in this next round. But I got the Thunder win it all, no matter if the Knicks make a comeback or not. But I don't think it's going to happen. Remember, if you want to chime in and be a part of the show, I'll shout you out. Just hit me up in the comments. Go to the Misfits live Instagram page. It's THAMISFITSLIVE. The Misfits Live. Shoot your comments over. Show me some love. Or you can hit me up Instagram Live, man. I'm willing to talk to you. What do you guys out there feel about the Thunder, the way that they were able to take care of business? And what's your thoughts of the Minnesota Timberwolves? Like, what's next for the Timberwolves? Do we see them possibly making a step forward? Or is Ed's career kind of looking like what we saw from LeBron, to where he's going to have to leave and team up with some people? So, it's going to be crazy what's going to happen next. But remember, Ed is young. It's the Thunder time. Let's focus on the Thunder. Shout out to those tapping in live on X, live on IG, live Facebook, and wherever you're tapping in and showing love. YouTube, of course. But Thunder take care of business. They move on. I'm excited to see if they can bring home this championship to Oklahoma City. And I'm letting y'all know right now, my talk of the Thunder franchise recently has been, man, KD, I still don't think we ever seen a peak type of performer like KD was with the Thunder. The skill, how great he was as a player. Like, I don't think SGA can reach that. But when you look at the greatest, if he can add a championship, he is the greatest Oklahoma City Thunder player of all time, just by getting a championship, because he got more years under his belt. So, SGA, you do your job. You will be viewed as the greatest Oklahoma City Thunder player of all time, jumping over KD, jumping over Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple Double, and he has a chance, man, because this team is looking incredible. But that's not the only series that's going on. You have the Indiana Pacers, who are surprisingly, to me, a lot of y'all out there probably like, man, I picked them. Maybe I was a fool. Maybe I'm like believing in the Cowboys winning when it matters when it comes to the Knicks. Maybe I was fooled and they let me down. They did not show up, and they're almost out of here, man. They lose the last game, game 4, 130-121. They just couldn't get the stops like they did in game 3, and they couldn't close out. They like going down. I think that is a part of the Knicks game plan. They're like, hey, we want to go down big, then we can figure it out. If they ever figure out that, hey, going down big is not helping us out, maybe they'll have a chance of winning. But lucky for them, the difference between them and Minnesota, they have a home game in game 5. So if they can just take care of home in game 5, it's like, hey, we win one game on the road, we get game 7 back at home where anything can go. But the last game, it was all Pacers taking care of business, taking care of home. Brunson gave you 31 points. Cat had 24 and 12, but it's just not enough. And he's not a superstar to me, but he is a great, great player. Shout out my guy Anwar out there. Make sure y'all tap into him. But he said something great when we were on the Sporting Tribune a few days ago. And he said that Tyrese Halliburton is exactly what Laker fans thought Lonzo Ball was going to be. And he's damn right. Like, Tyrese has the weird-looking shot, but he just finds a way to knock them down. And the man is a clear baller. Like, for true point guard play, I know everybody want to say Steph and some of these other guys that are point guards, which I never believed they were. I always believed that Steph is just an undersized shooting guard that has some point guard abilities. But you are looking at a masterful point guard performance from Tyrese Halliburton so far in the playoffs, especially this last game. 32, 15 assists, 12 rebounds with zero turnovers. Y'all know how hard it is not to turn the ball over when you have the ball so much and you're scoring and you're being so impactful. Like that, man, Tyrese Halliburton is like, hey, I need to be in everybody's top 10 next year. Hell, maybe even top 7, how masterful he has been in these playoffs. And he did it last year. So shout out to Tyrese Halliburton. His team is a game away from getting back to the finals since the 2000 when you saw Reggie Miller and that squad go up against Shaq and Kobe. But they're like completely dominating the Knicks. They are just looking like the clear better team, and they proved me wrong because I picked the Knicks at 7 coming in, but I didn't know that Tyrese Halliburton was that guy. He said, put some respect on my name, and he's showing it, and he's going crazy. He's not quite a superstar, but Tyrese Halliburton is proven to be a great player. And the reason why I say this, because a lot of people in this generation like to throw around titles just because you hear a lot of GOAT talk, like, oh man, that guy's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? You hear it in basketball, superstar. And I just don't believe it. Like, you have to prove me differently when it comes to a superstar. When I think of superstar, I think of a great player and a great player that is a winner. You have to bring in championships. There's two different ways to get in that superstar class. I think one is being a great player that takes his team far and, is a title contender damn near every year. And then it's also a guy that has to be box office. That's why young LeBron, we knew was a superstar, even when he wasn't winning, because he was great. He was getting his stats. His team was always in the talks as a championship contender, but he was box office like Kobe, like Jordan, like Shaq being box office. KG had a little box office to it there. That's why people love Ant so much, because Ant is a guy that is box office, and that's why some people try to throw him into that superstar class. But you got to have something else to be a superstar. You have to be a winner. That's why you always heard a Tim Duncan being in a superstar. Was he the biggest flashy guy? Was he box office? No, but he was a winner. So you were watching him play in 6 championship games, play and win 5 of those championship games. You look at Jokic. He's the guy that's winning all these MVPs. He won a championship. His team is always a contender. And, he's not super box office watching him play, but he's a contender. He's a winner, like Giannis as well. So I don't think that it's ever a list of 12 superstars, hell, even 10. I think it's always like 5 to 7. When I think of them off the bat as superstar players, I think of LeBron, I think of Steph, I think of Jokic, I think of Giannis, I think of KD. And we try to see who's the next batch, who's that next guy or two that's going to hop in there, because those guys are kind of long in the tooth. So they're going to be out of there. So I'm trying to figure out who is that next batch of guys that is going to have a chance to become NBA superstars, because as great as my guy Tyrese Halliburton is, I don't think he's reached that level as of yet. So, hey, Tyrese, keep hooping. You got your team close. Let's see what you guys can do. See if you guys can finish off the Knicks tomorrow. But you let me know, do you have him as a superstar player, like because of these last 2 runs in the playoffs? Are you with me where you kind of like, yeah, he hasn't got there as of yet? Because I don't think he's gotten there. He still has some time to go, but he's a hell of a player, and he is doing his thing. To keep it in the NBA, we got to talk about some things being here in LA. From LA, I am team purple and gold all day. I cover the Clippers. I love the Clippers, but it's Lakers till I die. LeBron James, he's going to opt into his $52.6 million player option. It's a lot of money. So I understand him not passing it up, but he's a billionaire. And as a Laker fan, as a black man who understands you're going to get your bag, I understand what he's doing. Go and get that money. How do you turn down $52.6 million? I don't care who you are. You go and get that check. But as a diehard Laker fan who wants championships, who wants him to prove that he is a Laker great, we're like, yo, you're older. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be 41 playing next year. Why not take why not take a cut? If you really want to win and really want Laker fans to love you, not to be heckling you at games, taking a cut would have been the look. And we're not saying take $20 million. We're saying, maybe take $10 million off of it and win. So I'm kind of on both sides. Black man, get your money. As a Laker fan, I want to see the Lakers win, and paying a 41-year-old guy who can't play 82 games, who kind of fades in the playoffs because of his age, his size, and all those things. Why not allow your team to get more players? But hey, let's see. Bron gonna take that check. He gonna get that money. He's going to break the bank because that's what LeBron James does. But it's gonna be interesting to see this Laker offseason. But I don't want to talk about the Lakers right now. I can do that all day as a Laker fan. But I got to show my love once again to the Thunder, getting their spot into the finals. The Pacers, can they do it tomorrow? Winning 3 games in New York, which would be crazy. But crazy stuff going on with hoops. I know you loving it, but I can't just leave it there with the fellas. I gotta show love with the ladies. Like once again, I got my stat sheet. I was there in the building yesterday with the Sparks as they took another defeat to the Atlanta Dream, coming up short, losing 82-88. The Sparks fight, man. It's so tough for the WNBA because the great teams are usually the teams that's been together 2, 3, 4 years, like the Aces. Like some of the other teams that you see that are at the top. New York, Indiana got 2 years under their belt. And even Atlanta, like the Atlanta Dream, their pieces kind of been together the last couple years. So with the Sparks, it's tough because it's a lot of new pieces meshing together, especially with KP, a star player coming in. So for you out there that are like, man, nobody want to watch those Sparks. They not even winning. Give them some time. I'm telling you, I like what Coach Lynn Roberts is doing. I like how KP is playing. De'Erica is balling like she is going crazy. You need to at least tap in to see De'Erica Hamby play, to see Kelsey Plum play, to see what Azare Stevens is doing. And Rakia Jackson is back from concussion, so I expect some great things from her. But man, the Sparks are just coming up short, but I believe they're going to figure it out. And to keep it with the Sparks, shout out to Sabrina Ionescu, who is showing mad love. Kelsey Plum hit her up like, hey, former teammate for Team USA, my rook needs some shoes. Like, she out here playing in some old kicks, some old Sabrinas. Can you help a sister out? And she did exactly that for Sarah Ashley Barker, sending over to KP like 6 pair of her shoes, showing a bunch of love, like a really dope thing from a vet in the league, one of the bigger stars of the league. So that's really cool. Shout out to you, Sabrina. Shout out to Sarah Ashley. Can't wait to see them on your feet next time you back playing here in LA. But it was just a dope vet move. And one thing I got to talk about. If you follow me on X, if you aren't following me, go and give me a follow. Mykell, the PG, MYKELLTHE, PG. I'm going back and forth with a lot of people because I just feel disrespected about how they're doing Angel Reese and making her the butt of their jokes, talking all this crazy enough. That's a black woman there. I gotta show my love and respect because I was raised by a bunch of beautiful black women that I love to death. So I'm not about to let anybody go out there and just bash a woman for some nonsense, especially a boisterous woman like Angel Reese. And if you know the history of the black athlete, whenever you had a voice, right, they try to make a way to make it as hard as you as they can. The way they treated Muhammad Ali, the mess that they would talk to about Kobe just because he was confident and was willing to speak his mind. They try to give you a hard time, and they're doing it with Angel Reese all over X. Just a lot of stuff, and I feel a lot of it coming from the heart of just people who are just pure racists. Like, they're not even talking about her game. They're just trying to make fun of her look, saying this, and that. And it's so many other black players in the league, but because Angel Reese comes out and she's going to stand her ground, she has a brand. She got the new logo for her Reeboks that has shown up there on X and Instagram. So go tap into that. But it's just a lot of people bringing hate for no reason, and I am not a fan of it. It's like they're trying to pick on her, and you never know. You don't know if she's looking at social media every day. She's young. She probably is. And to see all this hate with people using her name, and when it's non, skin folk, kin folk that's doing it, I don't think that is just like no hate there. I think some of it is in terms of the black and white thing because of her rivalry with Caitlin Clark. And I just think people have to grow up. People have to stay away from that nonsense. They have to be better because Angel Reese is just out here hooping, man. She's trying to find a way. Yes, she has a brand, which she deserves because she does her thing. She just got into the record books, the youngest player to 500 points, 500 rebounds. She has a NCAA championship, which people seem to forget. And yes, she misses layups. Yes, she does some stuff. And I talked about it last show. I don't think she should be your number one player, but she's a hell of a rebounder and can get you double doubles. And that's hard because a lot of people out here have never averaged a double double, not even with their player on 2K. So put some respect on Angel Reese. And come on, guys, like stop trying to pick on this young lady. Let her hoop. But let's take it away from the hardwood. Once again, thank you guys who are tapped in to the show, the Mykell Mathieu Show. I appreciate you for the love. Like I said, you're a part of my journey into gaining and earning and getting that star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You're going to remember it. I might invite you to the ceremony or you're going to be like, dang, bro, really did it. You are a part of it because you are here now at the beginning because this is only episode 9, baby. So let's take you to the gridiron where the gridiron, you got some football that's back. OTAs has begun. It's not all mandatory as of yet, but you got some players who do show up because they love the game. They want to get that work in. They want to get better, and they trying to get to a championship like the Eagles did last season. So it's fun to watch, but some people are going too far. Like I see people already taking stats, and this was so weird about some of these Nepo babies in sports because people gas thing up. We already seen it with Bronny, like he shouldn't be getting the coverage that he get, but I understand who he is. But let his game speak for him. When you giving him love and propping him up in front of other players who are better just because of his name, that's when people start to critique more, and that's when people start to tear them apart. And you're starting to see it with Shador Sanders with the Browns. I've never seen anybody post about stats from minicamp or OTAs, but they're doing it for the Browns. Like they're saying, hey, he threw 3 touchdowns. He did this. Dylan Gabriel had 2 touchdowns, 1 reception. Like they're actually having their completion numbers. They have the yards, and they're putting up the touchdown interception. Like, come on, guys. It is OTAs. Let Shador just grind in silence. Let him try to let his game be what's talked for him. We should have learned from the draft that people don't want to hear all this rah-rah about him or from him. And it seemed they want his game to speak for itself. So let's see him do that. Let's not gas him up too early because when you put too much pressure on a guy, sometimes we know that pressure busts pipes and it can happen to an athlete. So let's let him come along slowly. We got some tabloid news, baby. I'm tapped in. X and IG, your boy Stephon Diggs, for you guys who don't know, he's no longer with the Texans last year. He is with the New England Patriots, and he was partying with his lady on the bus, on the boat. They were having fun, but it was a lot of ladies on that boat, a lot of ladies in his face. I'm pretty sure you've seen a viral video with the 3 ladies in his face, and there was a pink substance, and you just got to stay out the way, man, especially when you're trying to stay in the league, coming off an injury, torn ACL, you're trying to get back. You're trying to be squeaky clean so that you can get the love that you want and need. And to see that was like, come on, man, you got to do better. It even got to Coach Mike Vrabel, who's there with the Patriots, and he had his word on it. So, Diggs, I know you like being outside. You with Cardi B, who's a star. You might want to be low key because your next step might be out of the league, and I know you don't want that because you're known as a football guy. So Diggs, stay off of whatever you want. Be low key for a little bit so that you can make sure that you secure your spot with the Patriots, and then you can have your fun. But we'll see what he's gonna do. See how he's going to figure this thing out. But if you haven't seen it, go check out the viral video everybody's talking about. I don't know what that pink substance is. Hey, that's none of my business. And the women that he had with him, Cardi B was there. So at first I was like, dang, he might be worse than Offset. but Cardi B was there. She liked partying with pretty women, and maybe that might bring some of the nonsense that happens to her relationship. But once again, none of my business. But let's see what's going to happen there with Diggs. But now, when it comes to the Michael Matthews Show, it is more than just a show about sports. It's always going to be about a lot more. Disney Plus got to show love. Captain America is on Disney Plus today. If you haven't seen it like myself, go and tap in. I got to show support to the Black Captain America. That's what I got to do. But I just want to check out the movie. I saw Thunderbolts, love that. Got to show some love there. But I got to take it to hip hop, baby, which I love, I love, I love. Absol, the Carson Arson said, I got to get some bars off because I let this little East Coast, little West Coast, or Joey versus the West Coast feud kind of go by. But I want to say some things. And it wasn't too crazy and disrespectful or anything like that. He kind of shouted out meeting Pro Era guys when they were young. Capital Steeds, rest in peace. He was the lead guy. Then Joey started to make his wave after Capital Steeds transition. But then he had to tell Joey, hey, you don't want it with us. Like the West, we got it. I'm the guy. But then he said that he would smack Academics' face. And if you follow me on X, you know how I feel about Academics. I believe that the man is a fraud and he is continuing to prove it. Talking about he gonna do something to Soul. Like, I do not believe any of that nonsense. Ack is not that guy. He don't be outside. He knows why. And, he's just a guy that's a talking head. And, man, Academics is a clown. But he's funny. He's really funny. But Bo don't even really talk hip hop. He's a tabloid guy. He gets on there and talks about the tabloid stuff. He's not even talking about the bars and who got the best track because he only waits to the big stars. So he's not even really a hip hop journalist. He's just a guy that has a platform that think he's tough all of a sudden, but you don't want to see nothing when it comes to Cali. You definitely don't want to see Soul and them Carson boys, Del Lamo, if you know. But shout out to Soul. He's in that ring, and he said he will smack Academics. And that was pretty funny. So shout out to him. For those of you out there who like, man, this guy's a Drake hater, which I never have been. I just always felt Kendrick was always the better rapper. I got to show love to Drake because Drake is breaking history. Drake has become the first artist in history to earn 10 diamond certified songs, which is crazy. It's fire. Kudos to him. Some of those songs include God's Plan, Sicko Mode, Life is Good, One Dance, Hotline Bling. A lot of his more poppy records are the ones that are diamond. He got a couple features like the one Sicko Mode with Travis Scott, but a lot of his more poppy records are diamond. But going diamond, especially, growing up with hip hop, is like a big deal. And for you to do it with 10 singles, it show you the power of Drake, how he made his music through the years, how he continues to make it. I'm a fan of Nokia. I don't care what anybody say. I'm a fan of Nokia, but shout out to him. Drake continues to break history. Let's see what's next. I'm waiting for that that hip hop album with some fire singles. I don't want to be sung to from Drake. That's for the ladies. I want to hear some bars, and hopefully that's what he's going to bring us with his, I think it's Iceman. I think it's his album that's going to come. But kudos to him. He's making history. I love it. A shout out to Eminem. He added some awards, but I couldn't believe it. The AMAs let me down. Like, they had it all delivered. It was set there for them to just hand Kendrick his 7 awards. But they said, Eminem got the Male Hip Hop Artist Award, and he got the best album when it came to hip hop, which was crazy. And I'm a huge Eminem fan. I have been since I first heard him many years ago with the Slim Shady LP. But come on, y'all. Y'all know this should have been Kendrick. That's why for all you out there that say, look, Kendrick is the machine, all this nonsense. Hey, Kendrick still is Kendrick Lamar, a black man from Compton. He ain't gonna get all that love. But just, kudos, kudos to Eminem. Like Lil Wayne said years ago when they had Gucci ahead of Eminem on our top 5 rapper list. Hey, shout out to Gucci. Shout out to him because he's still getting awards. But speaking of Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us leaves the top 100 chart after 53 consecutive weeks. And just how I mentioned academics earlier, of course, I knew he was going to try to come bash, talk about bots, all this nonsense. But study, know the rules. And the new rule of it is that if your song is like a song is kind of older, I guess, like within a year, that once you get out of the top 25, they just remove you from the list because of the older songs and they want to give a chance for the newer songs to get that love on the Billboard charts. So Kendrick last week was Not Like Us was number 32. So it's still technically top 100, but on the Billboard list, it's not in that top 25. So they removed it. But kudos to Kendrick. Like I've said it before, it is the greatest diss record of all time, one of the biggest hip hop songs ever created. Kendrick is on tour, killing it, still doing his thing. He still got 10 plus shows left, and you're going to continue to hear Not Like Us for the rest of our lives. It's like In the Club, it's like G Thing, all these classic records. Not Like Us is there, and to see it, get off of the charts is crazy. But 53 weeks. Shout out to Dot doing his thing because, hey, I would have never thought 2007 that Kendrick would be this big. Once Musa put me on to what his pops was doing with TDE, I was like, okay, let's see what happens. But for him to make records that big, I gotta give a shout out to K Dot. And I'm not sure about how the rule is. Like, if it gets back in the top 25, will it come back? I don't know. I have to look into that more. But still, if it's done at 53 weeks, hell of a run, hell of a record. I'm still playing it. I still hear it outside. K Dot did it with that one. For y'all still arguing if Kendrick won or not, you're an idiot because clearly this is proof that he is the winner because he has this massive record. So shout out to K Dot and shout out to DJ Head, Gina Views. They got the pod out there and they had me wondering because they discussed today the ranking of Kendrick Lamar albums. And like I said, I've been tapped in since Training Day with Kendrick Lamar, and he's been one of my favorite rappers. When he dropped Kendrick Lamar EP, I was like, yo, he's already top 10, top 15 in the game today, and he doesn't even have a hit single or a major label deal. And now he is where he is now, where he has dropped classic after classic after classic. So I went under their post on X, DJ Head and Gina Views, and they asked for your ranking. What you think? Gina asked what their ranking was for these albums, and I gave mine. I got Good Kid, Mad City, number one. The man created a movie of his Compton journey, which is fire. It has classic records on there. Sing About Me, one of the hardest records. Mad City, of course. Don't Kill My Vibe. Poetic Justice. He has a lot of great records on there. That's the top Kendrick Lamar album to me. And these albums are interchangeable. It just matters the vibe. But Good Kid is usually my number one, followed by To Pimp a Butterfly, which was a amazing art piece of work. Great hits. It gave us a cultural anthem. All Right on there, and just a lot of fire hits, man. Just a great album, an album that I still can tap into to this day. For number three, I surprised a lot of people. A lot of people probably still commenting on it as as I'm tapped in here on the show, as you're tapped in with me. When I said I got GNX number three, and the reason why I got GNX there, and like I said, this stuff is changeable for me. Excuse me. I just think that what he did with GNX, he gave us Luther, right? Which we see how great that that song did. 13 weeks at number one. Squabble Up. He just gave us a West Coast sound. And if you know me, definitely the homies out there, my friends who know how big of a hip hop fan I am and a big fan of Kendrick, I was like, yo, only thing K Dot is missing from his catalog is his West Coast classic. Snoop got his, Dre got his, Game has his, Cube, and vice versa. Kendrick needed his West Coast classic, and he gave it to us. GNX, so many slappers on there. Peekaboo, Hey Now, of course, TV Off, Squabble Up. Like, it is the album that is for the coast. It helped bring the sound back to the mainstream. And then he got Heart Part 6 on there with the SWV sample, one of my favorite records from K Dot. So GNX for me is number three. Then I have Damn at number four. Great album. Kendrick did his thing with that. He showed everybody, y'all want me to make pop type records. Y'all want me to make records that everybody playing? I'm gonna give you humble. I'm gonna give you love. I'm gonna give you loyalty. Stuff that you have to rock with. And hey, we rock with that heavy. It's his highest selling first week album. And he did his thing with that. Number five. Um, go back and forth with this because I love Section 80 so much. I just listened to the whole album yesterday, but it's missing those big singles, and I like Die Hard, I like Rich Spirit. And it just Kendrick has gotten better and better, giving you different takes. And I'm gonna give Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers a slight edge over Section 80. But all of his catalog is fire. The guy has been flawless, one of the greatest rappers of all time. Like I said, him and M, they're part of my top seven that I'll never, move until somebody else show me something differently. But that's Big, that's Pac, that's Jay, that's Nas, that's M, Kendrick, Lil Wayne. But shout out to Dot. Shout out to M. Shout out to everybody out there that's winning in life. And once again, shout out to Love. Thank you guys for tapping in with me, showing me some love here with my show, the Mykell Mathieu Show. Like I said, once again, you are part of the journey until I gain and earn that Hollywood star there in the Walk of Fame. And you're here for the Super Mykell Show. So thank y'all for tapping in. Don't forget, I'm back Friday, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tell your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your uncle, your cousins, your best friends, whomever, to come tap in with the future. A LA guy about to take over LA when it comes to the media world. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully I see you back Friday. Like I said, tell everybody. But man, OKC, shout out to you. Shout out to SGA. Canada actually winning with something, right? I know Drake went through it, and their hockey, they're not doing too great. But SGA, see you in the finals. I'll see you guys Friday. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. Peace, baby.